long have you been betraying me?
Emily, it's not what it looks like.
Please, listen to us. No more lies. Everyone will know the truth.
In the fall of 1977, 3 years after I married Ryan Bennett, his so-called sister-in-law showed up at our door in Millbrook, Ohio. Her name was Vanessa Reed. She had a crying child in her arms. Ryan felt sorry for her. He said she was a widow, struggling alone. So he started giving her half of his paycheck, every single month. When Vanessa said she wanted an easy, well-paying job, Ryan handed her mine. Everyone called him a saint, a kind man who loved to help. I just smiled and said nothing. I knew the truth. The other name on his marriage certificate wasn't mine. It was Vanessa's. And the boy she carried wasn't his brother's son. He was Ryan's own child, born from an affair. In my first life, I spent years helping Ryan take care of Vanessa and that boy. I didn't learn the truth until Ryan died. Vanessa came back with the child to claim the inheritance. She threw me out with nothing. That kind of luck only happens once. I stepped aside and let them have their happy little family. The day my college acceptance letter arrived, ready for me to start a new life, the affair finally blew wide open. Then I died, and woke up here again. I hadn't adjusted yet. I stood staring at the old buildings, the faded signs from another decade. Wasn't I already dead? How was I seeing 1970s America again? Was I dreaming? The factory guard saw me standing frozen at the gate. Here to see Mr. Bennett again? He's at the station, picking up his brother's widow. His brother's widow? I almost laughed. Just an excuse from two shameless liars. In my first life, Ryan and I were married for 50 years. Everyone called us the perfect couple. We survived every storm together, or so I believed. I thought Ryan loved me as much as I loved him. But the day Ryan died of illness, his brother's widow walked in. She brought their grown son. She held up a real marriage certificate. Me, the woman who stood by him for 50 years, I was just the nanny. The other woman, all of Ryan's money, went to his legal wife and son. I was left with mockery, insults, and nothing. I couldn't take it. I collapsed, and I never woke up again. Until I opened my eyes right back at the beginning. The exact day Ryan first brought Vanessa and her child home. Back then, Ryan told me they were the widow and child of his best friend. He said they needed help settling in. I believed him completely. I never once suspected a thing. He said Vanessa needed money, so he gave her every dollar we'd saved for our own home. He gave her our ration cards, too. Groceries, fabric, everything. Neighbors said Ryan was a loyal, good-hearted man. And like a fool, I believed the same thing. I was deceived by that heartless man. I sent our savings straight to Vanessa, so she and her son could live comfortably. I even gave up my job for them. When the college entrance exam was finally reinstated after years of being suspended, I was preparing to take it. But Ryan convinced me to write Vanessa's name on my exam paper instead. He called it repaying an old debt. Vanessa used my score to get into college. After graduation, she landed a job at a top company. And me? Because Ryan promised to take care of me, I stayed home. I cooked, cleaned, and raised his secret son like a servant. I wasted my whole life on people who never told me the truth. If Ryan hadn't gotten sick and died first, I might never have known. The memory alone was suffocating. I turned and walked faster, back toward the home Ryan and I shared. I rushed into the bedroom and opened our lockbox. I stuffed every dollar, every ration card, straight into my own pocket. If Ryan wanted to set Vanessa and her son up in a new home, he could find the money himself. He wasn't taking another cent from me. I mailed half the cash and ration cards to my parents. Then I used the rest to buy myself 4 new outfits and 2 pairs of shoes. I went to a diner and treated myself to a full dinner, ribs, all of it. After eating my fill, I walked home with my bags, feeling lighter than I had in years. Ryan spotted me first. He hurried over. Emily, did you go shopping? I nodded and showed him the clothes. I haven't bought anything new in 3 years. I used our savings on myself for once. Since marrying Ryan, I'd always put him and his family first, at my own expense. Ryan's face went dark. I'd used our shared money without asking him. He forced a stiff smile. It's fine, Emily. There's something I need to talk to you about. I have something to say too. I cut in first. I've been married to you 3 years and never sent my parents a cent. They're struggling, so I sent them our savings and the food ration cards too. Ryan's voice shot up. That was 3 years of savings. Over $1,000? Gone. I looked at him, playing innocent. Are you angry, Ryan? I'm sorry, I won't make decisions like that again. He couldn't argue. What was done was done. He forced a smile. I'm not angry. Just tell me next time. I nodded. Over and over. But inside, I was smiling too. There won't be a next time, Ryan. This is the last time you ever use me. So, what did you want to tell me? It's about my brother. The one who passed 3 years ago. He asked me to look after his wife and son. I nodded like I understood completely. Helping family is a good thing. I support you. Ryan relaxed, thinking he'd won me over. Then I added, but between my parents, my brother's tuition, and household costs, can we really afford to support someone else too? When we got married, we agreed my parents come first. My salary goes to them now. So, from here on, Ryan, this family runs on your paycheck alone. Ryan went quiet. In my first life, I scraped by on nothing, just to protect his pride. I wore the same patched clothes for 3 years, while Vanessa changed outfits every season. I ate porridge and pickled radish, while she and Ryan's son ate white rice and snacks. I was foolish back then. I deserved better, and I never demanded it. Not this time. I am not that woman anymore. That evening, I made a short visit next door, where Ryan had set Vanessa and her son up. I made an excuse to leave quickly and went to cook dinner myself. No feast this time, just cornmeal porridge, greens, and pickled radish. I called everyone to the table. Ryan walked in covered in dust. He'd been scrubbing Vanessa's place all afternoon. In my first life, I did all that cleaning myself, back-breaking work, while they sat and watched. Not anymore. I told them I had to cook and left Ryan to do it all alone. They expected a real meal. Instead, cornmeal, porridge, and radish. Vanessa's face fell. This is dinner? Sorry, I got home late. Tomorrow I'll make something better, I said, all apology. Vanessa, who never touched cheap food in her old life, stormed off without another word. Ryan frowned at the table. Emily, this is embarrassing. We have guests. I spread my hands. I wanted better, but we're out of money and ration cards. Why don't you go borrow some? I'll cook again. Ryan didn't move. Money wasn't easy to come by these days. He was exhausted from cleaning. Maybe you could help finish Vanessa's place tomorrow. I refused, flat out. My back is killing me. I can barely stand. Ryan left, disappointed. In my first life, his disappointment used to break my heart. I would have dropped everything to fix it. Not this time. He can be disappointed all he wants. I packed away the leftover porridge to serve again tomorrow. Without me scrubbing and cleaning for them, Ryan would have to do it all himself. He was an office engineer. Heavy manual labor wore him down fast. That night, I crept to the window of Vanessa's place and listened. This room is filthy. No cabinets, no proper bed. How am I supposed to raise Tyler here? Ryan snapped. What's different? You lived fine before this. Before this. My heart skipped. What did she mean by before? I was just worried about our son growing up without his real father, Vanessa said. Shut your mouth. Do you want us both dead? Ryan hissed. There's no one around. I'll be careful outside. But why won't you buy Tyler new things? He's your own blood. Ryan went quiet, then muttered, We're out of money. How? Didn't you have over $1,000 saved? Ryan froze. How do you know that number? I guessed, Vanessa said quickly. You're both good earners. 3 years married, you must have saved plenty. I didn't wait to hear more. I walked back inside, turning her words over in my head. It's different from before. She knew about our exact savings. Could Vanessa be reborn too, just like me? When Ryan came to bed, I pretended to be asleep. He wrapped his arms around me and whispered, Emily, let's have a baby. In my first life, I wanted that more than anything. I always believed I couldn't conceive, and that was why I stayed so loyal, so obedient. Ryan never blamed me for it. Not out loud. When his mother called me a barren hen, he'd stand up for me. So I believed he truly loved me. This time, I pushed his hands away. I'm not feeling well tonight. I had never refused him before. His shock was obvious, even in the dark. I didn't care. I pulled the blanket tight and put space between us. A scream came from Vanessa's place. Ryan bolted out without even his shoes. He didn't come home that night. I didn't wonder where he was. I already knew. The next morning, Ryan sat in the living room, furious. You slept fine while I was gone all night. Do you even care about me? That question had never come up in either life. Do you even have to ask? I shot back. In my first life, I would have chased after him, worried, sick. Not anymore. I calmly heated the leftover porridge and said nothing more. He slammed the door and left. Vanessa showed up minutes later with warm rolls and coffee for herself and Tyler. Sister, how can you eat that slop? Ryan bought us the good stuff. None for you, I guess. I didn't say a word. I grabbed the food from her hands and started eating as I walked away. She chased after me, screaming for it back. That's mine! Ryan bought it for me! I'm his wife, I said loudly, for everyone on the street to hear. He never once bought me breakfast in 3 years, but he buys you rolls the morning after keeping you company all night? A crowd gathered. Vanessa's face turned bright red. Everyone knows Ryan is a generous man, I continued. But how dare you flaunt his money and call my food pig slop? The murmurs grew. People started whispering about the widow living off another woman's husband. If my husband ever brought some stranger home, I'd have thrown her out myself, one woman said. Vanessa slammed her door shut, humiliated. I smiled and finished my breakfast on the way to work. By noon, the whole neighborhood wanted the story. I told them everything, exactly as it happened, with just enough sympathy in my voice to make Ryan look like a saint being used. The gossip spread like wildfire by evening. That night, Vanessa was waiting outside with Tyler when I got home, empty-handed. You're back too, aren't you? She said, an odd edge in her voice. What are you talking about? I said, feigning confusion. Don't play dumb with me. Things aren't the same as before. You never used to do any of this. So, Emily, you've come back. Just like me. You're getting revenge for what happened last time, aren't you? I laughed it off. I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you feeling all right? Ryan walked up just then, and I called out, Take Vanessa to a doctor. She's saying strange things. Vanessa burst into tears, blaming me for ruining her reputation. Ryan chased after her, leaving me behind. I went home and slept peacefully. He didn't come back until 10 that night. We need to talk, he said, looking uneasy. I told him my side, how Vanessa provoked me first with the food. I overreacted, but she started it. You're my husband, after all. His anger melted. If she and the boy bother you, I'll ask them to leave. That offer never came in my first life. I acted like the same foolish, agreeable wife. I have no objections. Helping people is a good thing. I owed her husband a debt, Ryan explained. That's why I'm helping her and the boy. Disgusting. He slept with his best friend's widow, fathered her child, and even married her in secret. And now he lies to my face about a debt. I understand completely, I said sweetly. Take good care of them. Your friend would be so grateful, watching from above. Ryan's face changed at that. He quickly moved on. I don't want to keep supporting them forever. I want to settle the debt for good. How? I asked, playing along. Vanessa has no job and a child to raise. Your position at work is easy. Maybe give it to her. I sighed, like it pained me. Fine, whatever you want. And after I lose my job, what do we live on? I'll take care of you for the rest of your life, Ryan said, holding my hand. He'd said those exact words in my first life, and back then, they made me melt. Now, they just made my skin crawl. I pulled my hand away. Fine, give her the job, but stay away from her from now on. Something about her feels off. Ryan stared at me a long moment. Something about his gaze sent a chill down my spine. Vanessa must have warned him I was acting different. He was testing me. I agreed too easily, and that seemed to put him at ease. That night, I couldn't sleep. Vanessa being reborn too changed everything. She would notice every difference in me. I had to be careful. Ryan slipped out of bed, thinking I was asleep. I followed and listened at the wall. Did she agree? Vanessa asked. She did. That's impossible. If she were reborn, she'd hate us. I don't want to hear this reborn nonsense again, Ryan snapped. I'm up for a promotion. Don't cause trouble. Understood, Vanessa said. Then, softer. Stay with me tonight. We'll get caught. Then let's not waste the chance we have. I'd heard enough. I slipped back to bed, relieved I'd played along and given up my job. Otherwise, they'd have suspected everything. The next day, I told my supervisor Vanessa would take my position starting tomorrow. That evening, Vanessa caught me at the door, all smiles. Thank you for the job. Ryan's been so generous. Eggs, ribs, brown sugar, just for me and Tyler. She was fishing, watching my reaction closely. I smiled back. That's wonderful. If you ever need more, just ask him. She left, disappointed I hadn't reacted at all. She thought I gave up my job out of kindness. Wrong. I was studying. The college entrance exam was about to reopen after years of being suspended nationwide, and I knew exactly when. 2 weeks passed quietly while I studied at the library every day. Then the announcement came over the radio. The exam was reinstated. My heart pounded. This was the moment that would decide everything. In my first life, Ryan convinced me at the last second to write Vanessa's name on my exam paper. I agreed, thinking it would finally settle his debt to her family. Vanessa went to college on my score. She and Ryan never spoke again, or so I thought. They kept a second family hidden the entire time. His so-called work trips were really visits to Vanessa and their son. When I got home, Ryan brought up the exam right away, just like before. Write Vanessa's name on the paper, he said. I hesitated on the surface. I don't mind, but I'm not sure I'll even pass. You'll pass. Just study hard, Vanessa said, eyes shining with greed. I'll try, but don't blame me if I fail. You won't fail. From now on, just focus on studying. I'll handle the house, Vanessa said, thrilled at the thought of college. I studied day and night for over a month while Ryan and Vanessa ran the household. On exam day, they walked me there together, hoping I'd secure Vanessa's future. Sitting in the exam hall, I picked up my pen and wrote my own name, Emily Carter. The test was easy. Walking out, Ryan and Vanessa rushed up. How did it go? Not bad, I said. Vanessa lit up. You'll definitely get in. Ryan took us all out to celebrate. That night was full of laughter, though for very different reasons. I celebrated my freedom from that man. I have no idea what they were celebrating. I drank too much and slept in late the next morning. Pounding on the door woke me. Ryan's mother, Margaret, was screaming outside. Everyone come see. My son married a barren hen who won't even send money home. I opened the door and she stormed in. Why aren't you at work? Lazing around while my son supports you? Margaret had hated me since the day she learned I couldn't have children. She used to call me every ugly name in the book, even pinch and twist my skin. Back then, I believed I deserved it. I never fought back. Not this time. It's not that I don't want to work. Ryan gave my job away, I said calmly. To who? His brother's widow. He said he owed her family a debt. Margaret's face turned purple. I never heard about any debt. Who is she? My heart leapt with joy, but I kept my face still and meek. Mom, isn't it a bit much to confront them? She's just a widow trying to get by. You said Ryan gave her money too? We had no money left. Ryan spent his whole paycheck on her and the boy. Margaret's fury boiled over. I raised that boy through college. What right does she have to any of it? I deliberately blocked her path a few times, listing every detail. The ribs, the eggs, the brown sugar. Then I let her storm off toward Vanessa's place, while I trailed behind to watch. Margaret barreled into Vanessa's workplace. Are you the one taking my son's money? Vanessa barely got out a polite greeting before Margaret slapped her, again and again, yanking her hair. Vanessa never expected real violence and never fought back. By the end, her face was bloody and swollen. Not one bystander stepped in. Everyone just watched. I limped in at the perfect moment to stop the fight. Margaret turned on me too. This is your fault, you useless hen, letting this woman take advantage. Then she rounded back on Vanessa. Pay back every dollar my son spent on you, and give the job back. By the time Ryan arrived, the scandal had already spread through the whole town. Seeing Vanessa bruised and humiliated in front of a crowd, he was furious. He dragged his mother away without a word to me. The rumors exploded. Everyone had a theory about the affair. Ryan's supervisor called him in. His promotion was put on hold, indefinitely. Ryan stayed angry for weeks. But strangely, his mother's attitude flipped completely. She apologized to Vanessa and started caring for Tyler like her own. I understood immediately. Ryan and Vanessa must have told her the truth. Tyler was her real grandson. That explained everything. Margaret doted on Vanessa and Tyler after that, but toward me, nothing changed. She still called me a useless hen and tried to convince Ryan to divorce me. When Margaret told me to leave for good, I finally agreed. 3 years married, and I have nothing. Not even a job, I said. A useless hen has no right to stay. Divorce him and go. Fine. But where do I go? People will talk if I show up at my parents' with nothing. We'll give you money to leave quietly, Margaret offered. Vanessa, sure she was headed to college, wanted me gone fast. She and Margaret negotiated, raising the offer from $200 to $500. I took it, packed my things, and headed for the train station. Ryan caught me right before I boarded. Emily, where are you going? I covered my face and sobbed. I can't have children. I can't give you a family. Just let me go. Don't talk like that. You're my wife. No one is taking you from me. He dragged me home by force. Margaret and Vanessa's faces fell when they saw me return. Whatever Ryan told them, neither dared bother me again. Margaret only demanded her $500 back. I told her I'd already mailed it to my parents. That bought me time. Margaret quietly made my life hell after that, calling me names when Ryan wasn't around. When he found out, he told her to get out and go back to her hometown. She backed off from him, but dragged me to the hospital instead, insisting on a fertility test. If it's fixable, you stay. If not, get out. I want more grandsons, she said. The results came back completely normal. The doctor said, have your husband come in too. Infertility isn't always about the woman. Margaret exploded. My son is perfectly capable. It's her, the barren hen. On the walk home, she cursed the doctor as a quack the whole way. But something nagged at me. In my first life, I got the exact same result. Perfectly healthy. Ryan always refused to get tested himself. He said he didn't need children, that I was enough, but he did have a child. With Vanessa. If neither of us had a problem, then where was the issue really coming from? Back home, Margaret scolded me again in front of Vanessa, who could barely hide her smile. Ryan finally stepped in and sent them both away, leaving just the two of us. "You've been wronged." "My mother means well. Deep down," he said, hugging me. "I can't have children. Maybe we should just divorce," I said flatly. "Never. You're my wife. No matter what happens, I'll face it with you." I searched his face for an answer. Why keep this hidden if he loved her? He'd already married Vanessa in secret. Why not just leave me and be with her openly? Later in life, he became a top engineer, wealthy enough for 3 housekeepers. So why keep me around at all? Did he actually love me? I couldn't make sense of it. A scream cut through the yard. "Someone help! Tyler's been hit by a car!" Margaret had taken him out to play, and he ran into the street. He was rushed to the hospital, covered in blood. Vanessa's legs gave out. Ryan half-carried her the whole way. I followed behind, watching with a strange calm. I felt nothing. In my first life, I genuinely loved that boy, not knowing whose child he really was. I raised him with real affection, while Vanessa took my job and my future. When he grew up, he still helped throw me out of the house after Ryan died. He called me a tool, a servant. He shoved me to the ground and laughed. I can't feel sympathy for someone destined to grow into that kind of person, even as a child. The hospital needed a blood transfusion. Type B blood, specifically. Ryan and Vanessa were too panicked to notice the problem, but I caught it instantly. Ryan was type A. Vanessa was type O. There was no way their biological son could be type B. I looked between them, and something clicked. Tyler had never looked anything like Ryan. Not as a baby. Not ever. Tyler survived, but lost a leg. He'd be disabled for life. Vanessa was devastated. Ryan looked shaken. Margaret blamed herself endlessly. I felt nothing. My mind was on one thing only: my exam results. The scores finally came out. I went straight to the admissions office to check. My hands shook a little, but the number that came back settled everything. I was getting out, away from Ryan for good. I filled out my college paperwork on the spot and headed home. Before I opened the door, I heard Margaret's voice inside. "That boy's already ruined. Have another one with Vanessa." "I want to," Vanessa said, "but Ryan won't marry me. I can't keep having children with no real place in this family." Ryan stayed silent, a long moment. "Now isn't the time to divorce, Emily." "Why not?" they both demanded. "I'm up for a promotion. A divorce now would end my career." So that was it. In both lives, career and reputation were the only reasons he kept me around. Vanessa cried out, "So you're staying married to her forever? What about me and Tyler?" "Tyler's disabled now," Ryan said coldly. "Are you ready to care for a disabled child your whole life?" Vanessa went silent. She didn't want that responsibility, but she wanted Ryan even more. "Here's the plan," Ryan said. "Emily stays and raises Tyler while I keep working. You and I have another child." Quietly. Margaret clapped, thrilled. "Perfect. She'll feel too guilty to refuse. Get started right away." I walked away from the door. What a brilliant little plan. Waste my life raising their disabled son while they secretly build a new happy family behind my back. "Ryan, you'll have to see if I actually agree to that." When I came back inside, they were chatting like nothing happened. Margaret, oddly friendly for once, asked where I'd gone. "Just for a walk. I heard the exam scores came out." "Did you check yours?" Vanessa asked. "A couple more days," I said lightly. "Don't forget to tell me." "I won't forget you," I said, meaning every word, just not the way she thought. "With Tyler like this, are you really ready to go off to college?" I asked her. "Who's going to raise him? An orphanage, maybe?" The question hung in the air. Neither of them had an answer. "You should think about his future," I said gently, and left it there. I knew Vanessa well enough. She never wanted to be a mother, not even before the accident. She'd cling to Ryan harder than ever now, desperate for an out. That night, Ryan checked on me several times before finally leaving. I waited 15 minutes, then slipped out after him. Vanessa's place was lit up. The gate cracked open. I crept close to the window and heard exactly what I expected. I smiled coldly, walked to the door, grabbed some firewood, and lit a match. Thick smoke poured out. I screamed, "Fire! Someone help!" Neighbors rushed over with buckets of water, storming into the yard. Someone kicked the door open. Ryan and Vanessa were exposed in front of the entire crowd, barely dressed. I pushed through, slapping them both across the face. "How long has this been going on behind my back?" Ryan tried to explain. "Emily, it's not what it looks like." "Not what it looks like?" "You bastard." I lashed out at him with everything I had. Vanessa tried to pull me off him. I grabbed her hair and threw her to the ground, beating her without mercy. "You set us up," she spat, glaring at me with pure hatred. The scandal was massive. Affairs like this could end careers, even land you in trouble with the law. The next morning, Ryan was suspended pending investigation. Vanessa, who hadn't even finished her job probation, was fired immediately. Margaret was livid, having spent the whole crisis caring for injured Tyler, unaware of any of it. When she found out her son had been ruined by an affair, she blamed me. "It's your fault. Ryan lost everything because of you." I slapped her across the face without hesitation. She gasped, stunned. "You hit me? I'll report you to the police." "Go ahead," I said coldly. "But let's be clear. You knew all along about the affair and the child. You just wanted to use me as free labor. Your whole family is rotten. You ungrateful wretch." She threatened the police again. "Report me for what? Ryan and I were never even legally married." Margaret's eyes lit up. "So Ryan and Vanessa are the real married couple? Then it's not illegal. His job is safe." She rushed to confirm it with Ryan, thrilled at the loophole. Ryan knelt in front of me, in tears. "Emily, I've only ever loved you. Vanessa trapped me. I was drunk. She's been blackmailing me ever since. I was afraid you'd leave if you knew." I almost laughed. "Do you really think I'd believe that? I already died once because of you two." "I've lived this life before, Ryan." His face went white. "You're reborn too?" "Yes, exactly." He kept trying to explain his way out of it. I had no choice. "Please forgive me." "Forgiveness isn't happening. You and Vanessa deserve each other." Ryan turned bitter. "A woman who can't even have children. What could you possibly do without me? Any other man would have left you years ago." "I have hands and feet. I don't need a liar to support me," I said. "By the way, Ryan, I have wonderful news. I'm going to college." "What? You took the exam for Vanessa." "I made that mistake once already. Why would I repeat it? The moment I found out about you two, I made my choice. I hope you and Vanessa live a long, happy life with your disabled son. One more gift before I go." Ryan screamed curses at my back as I packed my things. Vanessa blocked my path. "How dare you scheme against me?" I slapped her twice, knocked her down, and pinned her with my foot. "Careful. Your secret won't stay buried much longer." She went pale. "What secret?" "You know exactly how Tyler came to be, passing off another man's son as Ryan's twice now, and never once slipping up." Panic flashed across her face. Her composure shattered instantly. I hadn't been fully sure Ryan was infertile. I was bluffing. Her reaction told me everything I needed to know. "Are you going to tell him?" she demanded, chasing after me. "I'm warning you." Even now, she still threatened me. A leopard never changes its spots. I'd originally planned to let them rot together for life, but her threat changed my mind completely. Margaret and Ryan scrambled to save his job, but I beat them to it. I sent a full report to the company's disciplinary board. Every detail of Ryan's affair and deception, laid out in writing. The evidence was undeniable. He was fired on the spot. A week later, my acceptance letter arrived. I boarded a train for the city. Before I left, I gave Ryan one last gift, I told him he was infertile and that Tyler was actually another man's son. What he chose to do with that information was no longer my concern. Knowing Ryan, I figured Vanessa and Tyler wouldn't fare well after that. Sure enough, not long after I arrived at school, I heard the news from someone back home. A brutal case involving a man named Ryan Bennett, a woman named Vanessa Reed, and her disabled son. Ryan was convicted of murder and sentenced to death. I heard the news and smiled.